In today's video, we'll be going over some very exciting news, including 2 new JRPGs coming to the PlayStation 4, and you guys are gonna hear me gush about these games because they're 2 games that I'm familiar with. I've talked about them a little bit before on this channel. I had a feeling they were gonna come to the PlayStation 4 at some point. They're available on the PS4 over in Japan, but a Western release has finally been confirmed. And for all of you JRPG fans, I'll be telling you why you should be excited. And on top of that, at the end of the year, the PlayStation will be holding their own awards show, and this year it'll be streamed live on YouTube, so I want to take a little bit of a look at that. Also, we've got the Metacritic scores of 2 anticipated games, including Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and a game that was said to be PlayStation VR's killer app, Astro Rescue Mission. Both those games are getting very positive reviews, so I want to take a look at both of those. Also, we've got an idea on how long a PlayStation 4 exclusive is going to be. A game that I'm very excited for. The anticipation level for this game still seems to be rather low, but a game I hope a lot of you guys will keep on your radar. And lastly, GameStop is running a little bit of an Activision sale on their website. Yes, I know not all of you guys like Activision, but there are a couple of worthwhile deals to take advantage of as a part of that sale, so I'll look at that at the end of this video. First, let's talk about the news that has me very excited. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 are coming to the PlayStation 4 over here in the West in early 2019. Now, these games were released on the PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 3, as well as PC, and I am telling you guys, as far as storytelling, character development, and all of those elements that you look for out of a JRPG, there are very, very few games that hold a candle to Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. If we're just talking about storytelling, very few games in general, even on the Western RPG spectrum. We're talking elite level storytelling and elite character development here. The gameplay is also pretty good. It's your traditional turn-based style of gameplay with some interesting nuances thrown in there as well. Presentation-wise, it's very good. Technically speaking, it's not gonna blow you away. Originally was designed for the PlayStation Vita after all. However, the art style is good enough, and there's some fantastic music in the game as well. Best of all, they both will be releasing with some special editions. Now, these versions are just the version you're gonna get. There's no standard edition, there's no special edition. Each one of them will be $49.99, which does sound a little bit on the pricey side. For the first game, it'll be the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel Decisive Edition. Comes with a slick steelbook, a musical selection CD, and some other goodies. And then we have the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 2 Relentless Edition. Once again, a pretty dope steelbook and some other collectibles included with that as well. Now, if you don't know, the story doesn't end at Trails of Cold Steel 2. There is a Trails of Cold Steel 3, and then the final chapter is Trails of Cold Steel 4. But Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 kind of encompass their own story, and it's very good. Trails of Cold Steel 1 has one of the most insane cliffhangers and twists at the end of the game that you are ever going to see in a JRPG. And yeah, while on the surface, the games might be a little bit too Japanese for you, if you're really not all too familiar with JRPGs, if you're really not a fan of that style, maybe this isn't the one to start off with, because I do have to say those traditional Japanese tropes are still in there. But if you're familiar with JRPGs, if you enjoyed games like Persona, this is gonna be right up your alley. Fantastic games. Can't wait for them to come to PlayStation 4 early 2019.
Go! I've got you!
It's my turn.
Moving on, for a long time, Sony has hosted an awards ceremony for their third-party partners called the PlayStation Awards. This looked at various achievements including commercial success, critical success, and this time around the awards show will be streamed live on YouTube. It'll be happening on December 3rd, and it's hosted directly from Tokyo, and there is voting open for the 2018 edition, including the best indies, PlayStation VR releases, and various other things, and there's awards for the top-selling PlayStation Network downloads. I highly doubt we're gonna see any breathtaking announcements here, but a cool event to celebrate everything that happened in 2018, and again, it'll be happening December 3rd and live streamed on YouTube. Moving on from that, I want to take a look at a couple of official reviews that have been posted for some highly anticipated games coming this week. First up, we do have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a game that I wasn't completely sold on, but the reviews coming out for the game are looking very positive. Currently, it is sitting at an 86 on Metacritic, and comparatively speaking, Assassin's Creed Origins was at an 81, so Odyssey, for now, is being reviewed better. Do expect the score to fluctuate a little bit as more and more reviews are posted, but right now, the reviews are looking very positive. Just to give you a couple of the scores, Destructoid gave the game a 9 out of 10, saying that Alexios is one of the most memorable protagonists in all of Assassin's Creed, even if I never once actually thought of him as an assassin. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey is superb in nearly every aspect. It's the most impressive Assassin's Creed, even though sometimes it feels like it's Assassin's Creed in name only. It's as broad as Atlas's shoulders and as strong as Hercules. This time Ubisoft hit a real homer. DualShockers gave the game a 9 out of 10. Game Informer gave it an 8.25 out of 10. IGN was very positive towards the game, giving it a 9.2. PlayStation Lifestyle gave it a 9.5. So just very positive reviews with some weaker reviews definitely in there, but the majority of the reception has been super positive. Again, an 86 on Metacritic right now.
The gods will not always be with you.
Moving on from that, we also had the reviews posted for Astrobot Rescue Mission, and this is a game that picked up in anticipation in recent days, with people saying that the game was going to be PSVR's killer app, that this was a game that was really going to be defining for PSVR, and the review scores kind of show that. The Metacritic score right now is an 89. It just fell a little bit short of 90. That would have been awesome if we had an officially VR-centric game, and it scored a 90. That would be a real milestone for PlayStation VR, because I don't believe there are any PSVR games that are at a 90, and Astrobot Rescue Mission would be the best reviewed game thus far. But once again, everything I've been saying about PSVR's library getting better and better, Astrobot Rescue Mission shows that once again. And this was done by Studio Japan, PlayStation's first party studio. Push Square gave the game a 9 out of 10. IGN Japan gave it a perfect score, saying Super Mario 64 showed us the possibilities of 3D platform gaming more than 20 years ago. Now Astrobot Rescue Mission is finally here to do the same for VR. Currently, there are only 12 reviews posted on Metacritic, so do expect this review score to fluctuate quite a bit, because one review score, whether it be super positive or super negative, is going to affect that score greatly. But right now, an 89. Would love to see a game designed for VR hit a 90, but at some point, sooner rather than later, it is going to happen. If it's not Astrobot Rescue Mission, these games continue to get better and better, and at some point, we are going to have a game that does deliver on all fronts. And Astrobot Rescue Mission, if you're into platformers, if you have VR, definitely a game that you'll want to pick up. Moving on from that, if you guys have been following this channel for any length of time, you probably have heard me gush about Yakuza as well. Of course, we had the release of Yakuza 6, and the Yakuza franchise is now done, but we have a brand new game being done by the same studio in Project Judge. This was a game that was recently announced at the Tokyo Game Show, and it looks so much better than Yakuza from a technical perspective. This really does seem to be raising the bar for the studio. And in an interview with Bahamut, Project Judge producer Kazuki Hosokawa said that the main storyline is going to take anywhere from 30 to 35 hours to complete. So just the main story being 30 to 35 hours, that does say quite a bit. Yakuza, if you rush through the main story, it definitely doesn't hit 35 hours. You can complete it quicker than that. Project Judge being 35 hours does lend me to believe that this game will be a lengthier experience compared to Yakuza. And of course, with this game being a real next generation title, expect it to be bigger and better than Yakuza as well.
主文被告人羽村恭平は無罪。タモ
And lastly, I do want to take a look at GameStop's little Activision sale that they're running right now. Not a ton of great deals as a part of this sale. Call of Duty World War II is 50% off for $29.99. I believe that's the best price on World War II. But with the release of Black Ops 4 just a little ways away, picking up World War II doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense. But if you do want it, $30 isn't a bad price. Overwatch Legendary Edition is down to $30. Probably the best deal has to be Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. This is a collection that has really held up in value, but it is 50% off right now for $19.99. And if you want to play Crash Bandicoot, that's a great way to do so. It has all three of the PlayStation 1 Crash titles remastered, rebuilt for the PlayStation 4. It looks fantastic and still holds up rather well in 2018. We'll leave a link to that sale in the description box down below, and that is going to conclude this video. Again, The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 are coming to the PlayStation 4 in early 2019. Hopefully, after the release of these two, we can also get the release of Trails of Cold Steel 3. Cold Steel 3 was released last year, and there's a lot of dialogue that they have to translate, so I can understand why it's taking them quite a bit of time to get a Western release of that. For now, if you've never played the game, a PS4 release is coming in early 2019. The PlayStation Awards will be held on December 3rd, and they will be live streamed on YouTube, so you can watch along with that. Assassin's Creed Odyssey currently has an 86 on Metacritic, while Astrobot Rescue Mission is sitting at an 89, both very positive scores, so that is exciting. Project Judge, the PlayStation 4 exclusive, is said to be around 30 hours, and GameStop is running a pretty good Activision sale right now. Would recommend Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy for $20. That is a solid deal. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.